This changes everything for the Toronto Blue Jays, and I don't say that lightly. This isn't off-season noise drifting lazily through the winter air. This is the sound of a franchise clearing its throat, straightening its tie, and finally stepping into the room with intent. Because after an encouraging press conference from Ross Atkins yesterday afternoon, a wave of new reports has broken, and for the first time all winter, they don't feel speculative. They feel deliberate. Multiple respected Jays reporters, including Ben Nicholson-Smith and others, are now painting a picture that is impossible to ignore. The Blue Jays aren't just interested in Kyle Tucker. They're actively pushing. They're leaning in. And folks, they might actually be going for it. Before we dive headfirst into this, do me a quick favor and tap that subscribe button. Jays Nation Daily has been growing like wildfire lately, and the support has been unreal. Drop a like, share this with a fellow Jays fan, and settle in, because there is a lot to unpack today, and every layer we peel back only makes this story more compelling. Now I know exactly what some of you are thinking already. What changed? Why now? What's different about this moment compared to the endless cycle of rumors we've lived through all off-season? And that's a fair question, because for months it felt like the Blue Jays were hovering around the edges of every major move, close enough to feel the heat, but never close enough to touch the flame. But something shifted, quietly at first, and then all at once. It starts with Mitch Bannon of The Athletic, one of the most credible voices covering this team. According to Bannon, the Blue Jays have increased their efforts to bring Kyle Tucker to Toronto. Increased their efforts. Those three words carry weight, because effort implies action, not interest. It implies urgency, not curiosity. This isn't a front office kicking tires anymore. This is a front office pushing the accelerator. What makes this report so significant is its timing. In the last 12 hours alone, the smoke has thickened dramatically. We had Ross Atkins speaking with noticeably different language at his press conference, leaving doors open rather than quietly closing them. Then came reports from Ken Rosenthal, Robert Murray, and others confirming genuine interest. And then Mitch Bannon dropped what felt like a thunderclap in the middle of it all, stating that despite the signing of Kazuma Okamoto, the Jays remain linked to both Bo Bichette and Kyle Tucker, with league sources saying their recruitment of Tucker has intensified. That detail matters. Because for much of this winter, every signing felt like a signal that the door was closing. Every move was framed as a pivot away from the biggest names. But now, suddenly, those same moves are being recontextualized as groundwork. As preparation. As a roster positioning itself to strike when the moment arrives. Bannon's report goes further, revealing that the Jays invited Tucker to tour their player development complex back in early December. Since then, players like Vladimir Guerrero Jr., Miles Straw, and Joey Loperfido have been engaging with Tucker publicly, subtle digital nods that feel less coincidental the more you see them. And crucially, a league source described Toronto's recent recruitment of Tucker as more aggressive. That word again. Aggressive. The kind of word that doesn't get used lightly in front office circles. Now yes, the report also notes that a reunion with Bo Bichette appears increasingly unlikely, and we'll save that conversation for another full video. But in a strange way, that clarity only sharpens the focus here. Because moving off one path often means committing fully to another. And if the Jays are choosing their lane, it's becoming very clear which one they're accelerating down. If this all feels familiar, that's because it should. We've seen this movie before. Think back to the George Springer pursuit in 2021. At first, the reports were cautious. Then they became optimistic. Then suddenly, there was that infamous tweet suggesting the Jays weren't out of it just yet. Each update nudged the needle forward, slowly but unmistakably, until the deal was done. This Kyle Tucker saga is starting to echo that rhythm, and longtime fans can feel it in their bones. Adding another intriguing layer to this story, Kyle Tucker, Michael Brantley, and George Springer were all spotted together at the SoFi Center in Palm Beach. Now, is that concrete evidence of anything? No. But baseball has always lived in the space between coincidence and conspiracy. And if George Springer, one of the most respected voices in that clubhouse, is whispering sweet nothings about Toronto into Tucker's ear, Jays fans certainly won't complain.